We have seen trains hauled by steam engines, by diesel locomotives, by electric locomotives. We have seen train sets like the Vande Bharat Express. But can you imagine a train that breathes oxygen, drinks hydrogen, and generates its own electricity without a need for a OHE pole or a catenary wire or a pantograph? And the only byproduct the train releases is pure water vapor. And all it takes is just 25 rupees to travel by this train.
आज का दिन ऐतिहासिक दिन है। एक ऐसी टेक्नोलॉजिकल उपलब्धि भारत ने आज हासिल की है। कोई धुआं नहीं, कोई पेट्रोल या डीजल की रिक्वायरमेंट नहीं।
Hi, Real Zone viewers. Welcome to the Make in India's most indigenously developed hydrogen-powered train. The world's most powerful and the longest hydrogen train ever built. The moment we hear the term hydrogen, most of us think it's nothing but water. Can a train run on water, just like how we fill our vehicles with petrol or diesel, and it just starts and it runs? That is the biggest myth, or that is the biggest question mark a lot of people have. So let's find out what exactly is this hydrogen train. But before that, why did Indian Railways develop the hydrogen train? What was the need for a hydrogen train when almost 95% of Indian Railways is electrified? We are already witnessing the VAP7 locomotives hauling almost every express train. We are already witnessing the Vande Bharat Express trains, the train sets. The memo trains have already replaced almost every passenger train that used to be hauled by a diesel locomotive in the past. So why did the Indian Railways develop this hydrogen train in 2026? For this, we need to go back to 2021. The Honorable Prime Minister, Shri Narendra Modi, in his Independence Day speech in 2021, announced the National Hydrogen Mission. And it was officially launched in 2023. In January 2023, it was officially launched, the National Green Hydrogen Mission. And what is the objective of this mission? To make India a global hub for production, utilization, and export of green hydrogen gas. When we say green hydrogen gas, the hydrogen gas is produced reusing the water from the water treatment plants and through the process of electrolysis, and this process is carried using the green energy from wind and solar. I hope this is clear. And the aim is to produce 5 million metric tons of green hydrogen every year by 2030. And India spends approximately 135 billion annually on importing crude oil and petroleum products from other countries. And Indian Railways is one of the largest consumers of crude oil, such as diesel. So when the National Green Hydrogen Mission was announced, automatically there was a pressure on the Indian Railways. They had to immediately take the next step, how to eliminate diesel and use green energy. So the Indian Railways took an initiative called Hydrogen for Heritage. What does that mean? Indian Railways operates several heritage railway routes like the Kalka Shimla, the Darjeeling Himalayan Railway, the Nilagiri Mountain Railway, the Kangra Valley deep inside the Himalayan range. So these heritage railway routes are presently being operated by the diesel locomotives, and most of these lines are either narrow gauge or meter gauge. So due to the terrain and the complexity on these rail routes, the Indian Railways cannot electrify these sections. So they wanted to implement the hydrogen train technology on these heritage rail routes. But the Indian Railways cannot directly introduce the hydrogen rail technology on these hilly terrains because they need to first do research and development on how the hydrogen train technology works. The Indian Railways immediately, with the help of the RDSO Lucknow and the Integral Coach Factory Chennai, decided to develop a prototype hydrogen train for broad gauge because new technology, it's a completely new technology for the Indian Railways. Therefore, they wanted to first do an experimental project. So this pilot project the hydrogen mission started on the broad gauge. So they designed a broad gauge train of 10 coaches, out of which 2 are power cars. The front and the rear are power cars. And the integral coach factory smartly retrofitted a demo. So if you see the hydrogen train closely, it is nothing but the body and shell of a demo train. All they retrofitted is a hydrogen cell and hydrogen tanks by replacing the diesel so that it can create its own electricity. So presently, only 4 countries in the world have manufactured hydrogen trains. And the first being Germany, then China, then Japan, and the United States. And India becomes the 5th country to develop its own hydrogen train. And this was completely a Make in India project and a Make in India technology. There was no any technology transferred from the countries which are already running the hydrogen trains.
इनके सिलेंडर्स हैं, ये फ्यूल सेल्स हैं. इन फ्यूल सेल्स से हाइड्रोजन फ्यूल सेल से इलेक्ट्रिसिटी जनरेट करती है. उसके बाद में आगे कन्वर्टर्स लगे हुए हैं. वो कन्वर्टर्स मोटर को ड्राइव करते हैं.
Finally, after 3 years, on July 17th, 2026, the Honorable Prime Minister, Shri Narendra Modi ji, flagged off the nation's first hydrogen train and the world's longest and the most powerful hydrogen train to the nation. And this train is named as Namo Green Rail.
हाइड्रोजन ट्रेन का पहला रन चलाने को मिल रहा है. नई टेक्नोलॉजी है सर. आगे आगे जैसे आपको पता है डीजल और पेट्रोल की मात्रा कम होती जा रही है, तो ये नया फ्यूल हाइड्रोजन हम यूज़ कर रहे हैं जो कि पानी से बन रहा है. तो और इसमें बाई प्रोडक्ट भी एक वाटर वेपर है, तो बहुत क्लीन फ्यूल है और बहुत अच्छा लग रहा है सर. जैसे नॉर्मल ट्रेन को डीजल की रिक्वायरमेंट है, इलेक्ट्रिक वाली को ऊपर OHE की रिक्वायरमेंट है, इसको इलेक्ट्रिक की रिक्वायरमेंट नहीं है, डीजल की रिक्वायरमेंट नहीं है.
And this prototype train is going to run only on the Jind Sonipat section, on the 89 kilometer Jind Sonipat section in Haryana, and it falls under the Northern Railways of Indian Railways. And Sonipat is about 45 kilometers to Delhi. And this hydrogen train rake will be maintained at Shakur Basti depot. Previously, Shakur Basti was a diesel loco shed. It is a suburb of Delhi. And Shakur Basti is now maintaining Vande Bharats. And they are also going to maintain the hydrogen train. And this hydrogen train will be handed over to the Northern Railways. So they will maintain this rake. And a specialized team of engineers from the RDSO will continue to study the hydrogen train. So for the next few months, the technical team will continue to do live pilot monitoring. That is, along with the loco pilot, the technical team will also be present in the cockpit and they will intensively monitor the train. They will collect all the data and they will submit a detailed performance report to the Ministry of Indian Railways on what are the challenges, the pros and cons of the hydrogen train technology. And the Ministry of Indian Railways will take the next step on how to proceed with the mass production of hydrogen train sets for the heritage railway routes. And based on that, there is a plan to also retrofit the existing diesel locomotives with the hydrogen cell technology. So can this train run on water? The biggest question everyone has. Well, the answer is the train cannot run on water, but the train runs on green hydrogen. And how is this green hydrogen produced? For this, the Indian Railways has built the country's largest green hydrogen production, storage and refueling facility at the Jind railway station at an approximate cost of rupees 70 crores. So the 1 megawatt green hydrogen electrolyzer primarily requires water and electricity. And the water is sourced through the bore wells and water treatment plants. And in order for the electrolyzer to work, it requires electricity. Green electricity is procured through solar and wind farms. And the electrolyzer splits the water into hydrogen and oxygen. The hydrogen is then compressed, cooled and stored in high pressure tanks, which is later refueled into the hydrogen train. And the hydrogen train has 2 power cars. Each power car can hold up to 220 kilograms of hydrogen. And the total combined hydrogen is 440 kilograms of hydrogen can be fueled on the hydrogen train. And what is the mileage? The railway says per kilometer, the train requires 850 grams of hydrogen. So approximately the train needs 300 kilograms of hydrogen to cover 2 trips, because the Jind Sonipat section is about 89 kilometers. So roughly 90. So for 360 kilometers, the train needs approximately 300 kilograms of hydrogen. And what is the cost of making 1 kilogram of hydrogen at the Jind plant? It is roughly about 400 rupees. How much water is needed to produce 1 kilogram of green hydrogen? It requires about 30 liters of pure water. And how much electricity is needed? The electrolyzer requires 50 to 60 kilowatt hour of electricity to produce 1 kilogram of hydrogen. And the plant works 24/7, and per hour it can produce 18 kilograms of hydrogen, and that sums up to 430 kilograms of hydrogen a day. And the plant has a facility to store up to 3,000 kilograms of hydrogen, and that is massive. So this is how the green hydrogen produced and fueled into the train. So now I hope it's clear that the train runs on green hydrogen.
कि टेक्नोलॉजी को अगर साधारण भाषा में समझें, पानी से हाइड्रोजन बनता है इलेक्ट्रोलिसिस के प्रोसेस के द्वारा। यहाँ जींद में हाइड्रोजन बनाने का एक प्लांट लगाया गया है। उस हाइड्रोजन से बनती है और उस बिजली से ट्रेन चलती है। कोई धुआं नहीं, कोई पेट्रोल या डीजल की रिक्वायरमेंट नहीं।
And speaking about the safety of the train, hydrogen is flammable and can catch fire. Therefore, the train needs additional safety. The train comes with advanced safety layers.
अब बात करते हैं इसकी सेफ्टी की। हाइड्रोजन एक कलरलेस और ओडरलेस गैस है, इसीलिए इंडियन रेलवेज ने इसकी सेफ्टी पर बेहद बारीकी से काम किया है। वैज्ञानिक रूप से हाइड्रोजन 4% से 75% कॉन्सेंट्रेशन के बीच ही इनफ्लेमेबल होती है, लेकिन इंडियन रेलवेज ने सेफ्टी मार्जिन इससे भी आगे रखा है। अगर सिस्टम में सिर्फ 0.25% हाइड्रोजन लीकेज भी डिटेक्ट होती है तो पूरा हाइड्रोजन सिस्टम अपने आप शट डाउन हो जाता है। इसके अलावा कंटिन्यूअस वेंटिलेशन सिस्टम, हाइड्रोजन लीक डिटेक्टर्स, स्मोक डिटेक्टर्स, हीट डिटेक्टर्स, फ्लेम डिटेक्टर्स और ऑटोमेटिक शटडाउन सिस्टम जैसी कई एडवांस सेफ्टी लेयर्स इसमें दी गई हैं। अगर किसी कारण से हाइड्रोजन सिस्टम बंद भी हो जाए तो बैटरी ट्रेन को कुछ समय तक सुरक्षित स्थान तक ले जा सकती है।
So that's a good safety feature equipped in the train, and the train is also safety certified. And the train also has a safety certification and approval from ISO and TUV.
कंप्लीट सिस्टम डेवलपमेंट भारत का है और इसकी टेस्टिंग सर्टिफिकेशन वर्ल्ड की बेस्ट एजेंसीज से करवाया गया है। TUV स्यूड से इसका कंप्लीट सर्टिफिकेशन कराया गया है। सो इट्स अ वेरी सेफ टेक्नोलॉजी, इट्स अ ग्रीन टेक्नोलॉजी ऑफ कोर्स। द बेस्ट पार्ट इज एमिशन इसमें केवल वाटर का एमिशन होता है।
So that's all from this video. I hope this video was informative, and do let me know your thoughts in the comments. Firstly, what do you think about Indian Railways experimenting about the hydrogen cell technology on its trains? And secondly, what are your thoughts about Indian Railways initiative to replace the diesel-hauled heritage railway routes into hydrogen powered trains by retrofitting diesel locomotives with hydrogen cells? Do you think this mission can be accomplished successfully? What are your thoughts about this? And next, can India successfully accomplish producing 5 million metric ton of green hydrogen by 2030? And can this help in reducing the import of crude oil from the neighboring countries? What are your thoughts? Do let me know in the comments, and let us continue to discuss in the comments. That's all from this video. I'll get back to you with yet another interesting video. Until then, it's bye from Harris. Take care. Bye-bye.